1. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, moms, dads, grandpas, grandmas, people all of ages, welcome to episode 81 of Yellow Card Podcast, presented to you by the one and only Couch Guy Sports Network out of Boston, Massachusetts. If you have not checked it out, go check out couchguysports.com, read all the content, catch up on all the podcasts, whatnot. While you're at it, support your local friends. Go over to Shocked Energy and use the code CGSN for 10% off if you order today. Get hydrated, get boosted, get your energy back, or just get a little dose of caffeine just to get your day going. Make sure to also check out exogun.com. I got an exogun coming on the way. Can't believe that we got some savings off of that. Using the code CGS10, 10% off if you order today. Make sure that you're fully relaxed as the summer season is around the corner. Ready to come, ready to go. Gotta get that summer body going. Gotta look nice and relaxed. So for episode 81, much of same as last week. We got a lot going on as well. English Premier League coming down to an end very soon. We got about 2 to 3 match weeks to go. Champions League coming down to a very nice end, looking like it that way. Europa League as well. We got the final leg coming up this week. So without further ado, let me just provide a little update on the on what the records look like for Champions League this week. My record is at 43 and 43. I'm at 500. Jones, unfortunately, 41 and 45. I'm sure he'll bounce back this week. Had a couple of games where, unfortunately,
what record are you talking about?
The Premier League.
Oh, I thought you said Champions League. I was about to say, brother.
No. Premier League, you're looking at 41 and 45. Diego, 43 and 43. Champions League, though, Jones had a thriving week. He's at 72 and 50. Diego is sitting at 64 and 58. On Europa League, unfortunately, both of us struck out. Therefore, Jones stays at 21 and 22. I stay at 19 and 24. Well bounced back against this week. Not a big deal for us. But anyways, let's get to it. We got some Premier League action going on. As I mentioned, Champions League final leg wrapping up here. We'll find out what the final will look like for the Champions League 2022 edition. And then we'll also find out what the Europa League final will look like. So, Jones, which one would you like to start with?
Start off with the Champions League.
All right, let's do this thing. We got Villarreal taking on Liverpool. The aggregate right now is sitting at 2-0 with Liverpool on a nice, comfortable lead. I say somewhat nice, comfortable league. It is Villarreal. They're known to be surprising. It is at El Madrigal, so you can't sleep on that. What are you thinking?
The way that Liverpool played against Villarreal was a little bit of what I expected to happen. You know, with the 2-0 victory, it was a good victory overall. I think the momentum carries over. They didn't lose a single match in the month of March. So moving forward, I think they're playing their best football, and I think it continues. I think if we're looking at it, I think Liverpool plays very defensive-minded. They're going to try not to let Villarreal get that first goal in the first half. I think this is going to be a slugfest defensively, and I think Liverpool not only moves on, but I think they win 1-0.
Okay, I like it. I personally think that Liverpool moves on. And again, just for clarification purposes, the way that we work in the Champions League record is who moves on to the next round. At first, it was the scores, but now that we're coming down to the wire, it matters more about who moves on rather than the actual score itself. For me personally, I'm thinking this is going to be a 1-1 draw. I think Villarreal will come out to play with all cards on the table. Will come out to bring everything they got. Seeing that they have the Spanish fan base behind them sitting at home, it would be of huge benefit to them. Unfortunately, I don't think they get the job done. It is Liverpool. Liverpool has looked extremely good as of the last month. Jurgen Klopp is coaching this team. It's like they got a chip on their shoulders. Premier League, they're right on the toes of Manchester City, and on Champions League, they're on the toes of being on the final. So I think it's a 1-1 draw. I do think Liverpool moves on. Speaking of moving on, Real Madrid taking on Manchester City. At first, what an absolute slugfest between those two. We didn't think it was going to be much of a slugfest. At first, we did think it was going to be a competitive game, but not much of a massive slugfest. However, it ended up being a 4-3 aggregate when Manchester City is on the lead. However, for Manchester City, that was a necessary score to have coming into the second leg of this match because they're going to the Bernabeu. With coming into the Bernabeu, they realized that Real Madrid is running on an absolute high right now. To just come off of winning the La Liga title, congratulations to Real Madrid and Carlo Ancelotti being the first manager to accomplish a title in each of the 5 major leagues in Europe. So congratulations to Carlo Ancelotti. That speaks volumes of what he's done. Seeing that it is in Real Madrid's arena, I'm going a little differently here. I think Manchester City will be a little tired, especially after the action that they had coming off of the Premier League, where they took on Leeds United and beat them 4-0, exactly as I predicted last week. So I'm going with a 3-1 Real Madrid win. I think that the emotions are riding high at Real. They're full of confidence coming into this Champions League opportunity where they could go on to the final, sealing the final, especially with their home base behind them. I think that gives them a lot of confidence. And the way that Karim Benzema is playing right now is just top form. I can't discredit what he's been doing. So I think Real Madrid moves on in this round.
I think I have to agree with you for a couple different reasons. One, I think Man City is lucky that they're even up in the aggregate after that game in Etihad. Because not for nothing, what happened is they get up 2 goals, they get lackadaisical, and then Real Madrid capitalized easily. So if you're thinking about it, City's going to be defensive heavy, trying to contain the aggregate lead. Real Madrid's going to capitalize on that. I think Real Madrid wins this 2-1, and I think it goes in extra time. And I think Real Madrid's going to move on via the penalty kicks.
Oh, okay.
Because I am going to trust, and I hate the fact that this is going to come out of my mouth, but I'm going to trust Courtois to get the job done over Ederson.
Wow, that's a bold prediction. Personally, for me, if it was the penalties round, I would think that we would see far more mistakes out of Real Madrid than out of Manchester City. That's why I'm predicting a straight 3-1 scoreline. I don't foresee them going into the penalty rounds. All right, that's for the Champions League. Moving on, what would you like to prefer to pick as the next topic?
Just get the Europa League out of the way.
Let's do it. So Rangers and Leipzig taking on each other on the 5th of May. The aggregate right now is on the favor of RB Leipzig. They're up 1-0. However, this game is at Rangers. This game is at the Rangers Arena. I do not foresee, personally, RB Leipzig being able to handle the pressure that this fan base brings when they are at home. We've seen it all throughout this tournament. Those fans have made themselves be counted for. That's the only reason why Rangers is where they are right now. I think Rangers moves on to the final. They go 2-0.
Yeah, looking back at the tape that they had the last time they played last week, Leipzig didn't really wow me in any way.
No, there wasn't much that they did. I mean, the goal was an opportunistic goal that they capitalized on. And I mean, of course, you got to capitalize on those opportunities, but there wasn't much of a major difference that RB Leipzig made on their strategy, especially at home.
Right. So, I mean, I'm just looking at it. I'm looking going forward. I just think, like you said, the Rangers home aspect is going to be the difference here. I'll take Rangers actually in the same score as you. I think they do just enough to move on to the final.
All right, moving on. Eintracht Frankfurt versus West Ham. They are up on West Ham 2-0. It is in Frankfurt. What do we think happens here?
They're up 2-1.
They're up 2-0.
2-1.
2-1.
It's 2-1.
Okay. This is at Frankfurt, however.
Antonio, it was 1-1 going into half, and Frankfurt scored in the 54th minute.
Okay. This is at Frankfurt, however, being at the Deutsche Bank Arena. I do not foresee West Ham having enough to take care of this, especially in Germany. Frankfurt's fan base is really loud and they make themselves present. With that, seeing that this is as far as West Ham has gone on a European tournament so far, I think that pressure amounts to them and they just don't get the job done. I'm going to go with a 1-1 score for Frankfurt. Frankfurt moves on.
So I'm going in a different direction here. I mean, I understand, the fact that the stage is bright. They haven't really moved far into a tournament in a while. But I like this team, and especially coming off that loss to Arsenal this past weekend. I think realistically they could have won that game. They shot themselves in the foot when Gabriel scored that goal. It hit right off Fabianski. There's nothing you can do about it. I think they're coming in with a little fire. They're down 2-1. I think they win comfortably in Frankfurt because the reason why Frankfurt had such a good momentum is because they scored in the first minute of the game. And when they scored in the first minute of the game, you could see that the tide turned right there. The tide's not going to turn this time. I think West Ham wins comfortably. I'm taking them 3-1.
Wow. Okay. All right. Moving on. Got Premier League action. Just a reminder, this is the league that we both chose to have a wager on. Right now we're looking at pretty close records right now. 43 and 43 for me. Jones is 41 and 45. Anything can happen. So let's get started. We got Brentford taking on Southampton. Brentford coming off of a recent loss against United. Southampton coming off of similar status, coming off of a loss. They're both sitting in the table as at 40 points. Who do you think gets the job done?
The home team here. I mean, also, too, you got to think about it. The last time these two teams met was back in January. It was out Southampton, and Southampton absolutely rocked them. I think Brentford remembers, and I think they're going to come with a little bit of force here, especially with the way they play at home this year. At home, they're very solid at home overall, if you look at it.
Mm-hmm.
If you go back and look at their record at home, it's very solid compared to their record on the road. Same goes for Southampton. I'm going to take Brentford to win 2-0.
I got Brentford 2-1. All right. Up next, that's Burnley versus Aston Villa. Burnley just barely making it out of relegation form. They did win 2-1 against Watford. They got the job done. What do we think here? I'm personally thinking a 1-0 victory for Aston Villa. What are you thinking?
So I would be on Villa if it wasn't at Burnley. It's always my biggest turnoff with picking against Burnley at home. I think these two teams are evenly matched, and right now they're both sitting in the middle of the table. Burnley trying to get themselves even more comfortable away from Leeds United and Everton. I think, realistically speaking, I think Burnley gets a draw in this one. Just add another point. I think it's going to end in a 1-1 draw.
Okay. I like it. All right. Chelsea takes on Wolves. Wolves is coming off of a loss against Brighton. What do we think? Chelsea is coming off of a loss against Everton as well.
This team is all over the place, man. This isn't the team that we saw last year that won the Champions League. I think they got a lot of distractions going on with the ownership group and stuff like that. So I think that's also playing it into effect here. And you just don't know who's going to be on this team next year moving forward. So they're kind of at a whim here. But I think Chelsea at home, does enough. Last time these two teams played, it was a 0-0 draw. Wolves. Don't think that's the case again this time. Give me Chelsea 2-0.
Funny you say that. I got Chelsea 2-1. All right, let's speed things up here. We got Crystal Palace coming up against Watford. Crystal Palace is coming off of a win. I'm taking them 2-1. What are you thinking?
I like your score, but I'm gonna go 2-0 Palace. Can't believe I originally missed that one.
You good?
But I like Crystal Palace in that game.
All right, we got Brighton taking on Manchester United. Both teams coming off of a win. Manchester United with not a lot to lose. They're trying to fight their way up to fourth place or fifth. Really don't have much of bandwidth versus a Brighton that is also not in a bad situation at all. They look pretty solid. They look to stay here again in the Champions League. I'm taking United on this one 3-1. What are you taking on this match?
I'm taking United also, but I'm going 2-1. They played them last time at Old Trafford. Brighton played them tough, but United got the job done there. I think we see a little bit more of the same here. I'll take United 2-1.
All right, we got a really good matchup. Liverpool versus Tottenham. I'm taking Liverpool 2-1 here. I think Liverpool's riding on a massive high right now. Thiago's on unbelievable form. Same with a couple of others. Navi Keita is going to be key to this match. Therefore, I don't think Tottenham has enough to handle Liverpool. They do have enough to make it a close match. I just don't think they have enough to handle what Liverpool's bringing. What are you thinking?
So just looking back at Liverpool's schedule, right? The last time that they've lost a match, I believe, was against Leicester back in December. But before that, they drew with Tottenham at Tottenham 2-2. So plugging in the numbers here, I like Liverpool in this matchup. Tottenham's playing well, don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
but
no, yeah.
We have to give some credit because Sadio Mane is having another fantastic year. Mo Salah is obviously doing what he's doing. This team is thriving for two reasons. One, they're getting help up front from their striker, whether it's Roberto Firmino, whether it's Diego Jota, whether it's now Luis Diaz, who they've added, and he's been a great fit since he's come over. You said that right away when they acquired him at the transfer window. This team is just clicking on all cylinders. And with it being an on-field, I don't see Tottenham overcoming this. I'm taking Liverpool 2-0 in this one.
Okay. All right, up next, we got Norwich City taking on West Ham. Norwich already relegated, already known to be relegated. West Ham trying to stay within the race of potentially, fighting for a potential Europa League return. What are we thinking? I'm thinking West Ham here 2-0. What are you thinking?
I got him 3. If Farke was still the guy here, I would be taking Norwich to win one of these because he loves to play spoiler in a big moment like this. We've seen that. We saw it a couple of years back. But West Ham, I think, especially after the Arsenal loss, they're going to play well against Frankfurt. I think they're going to play even better against Norwich City. Give me West Ham 3-0.
All right. Now we got Leicester taking on Everton. Everton coming off of a win. They're fighting tooth and nail to stay up top, to stay up in the Premier League. Leicester, on the other hand, they don't really have much to fight for. Just trying to stay within reason, I guess.
Trying to stay afloat.
Yeah, I got this one sitting in a 1-1 draw. I don't think either team does enough damage to each other. I think they're very leveled. But what are you thinking?
I think Everton carries over what they did last week to this matchup. I know it's at King Power, and it's, we've talked about in the past about how King Power is a tough place to win at. But I think Everton and I think this team is going to do more than enough. I think they win this outright 2-0.
Wow. Okay.
Which would bump Leeds down into 18th, which would be relegation. Because the next one is Arsenal and them. I have Arsenal beating them 2-1. Sorry. Your Leeds winning?
And it begins. No, I got 2-1 Arsenal. All right. Manchester City versus Newcastle. I got this one being a complicated matchup for Manchester City, but complicated enough where they can get the result. I'm taking Manchester City 2-1.
This team has just played so well as of late. And they played Liverpool tough. They played Liverpool real tough last weekend. This time on the road at Etihad. Last time these two teams played, City wiped the floor at them, but this is a completely different team. They have hunger. They want to beat Manchester City, and I think they do. I'm going Newcastle to beat them 2-1. They're hungry. They're trying to prove themselves, and in order to take that step forward, getting ready for next year, this is a game that you must win.
Okay, I like it. That does it for match predictions and scores. Other than that, any last minute things that we gotta talk about? I mean, today, for example, being the last matchup day for a lot of United players. I don't know if any of you saw the highlights at the end of the game. People like Nemanja Matic, Juan Mata, Alex Telles, that were all highlighted at the end of the game. Juan Mata played an unbelievable game at home. Played really good, fed right into the scheme between Bruno Fernandes and Cristiano Ronaldo, to the point that he was involved within the play that got Bruno Fernandes the first goal. So just want to say a huge thank you to those two massive names that we had for so many years here at Manchester United. Thank them for their service and all that stuff. Other than that, I mean, there's really not much to talk about. Carlo Ancelotti, again, like I said, getting his 5th title within Europe. I mean, he's won with Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, PSG, Milan, and I know I'm missing one.
What'd you say?
I know Chelsea. I think he's won a title with.
Carlo?
Yeah, so it's Real Madrid, PSG, Bayern Munich, Milan. I believe it was AC Milan, and then Chelsea.
Let me fact check you.
I believe those are the 5 teams that he's won with.
Career. Chelsea. 2009 to 2011.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't
But PSG, I believe it was 2012 to 2013.
Yep.
Bayern, it was right after Pep Guardiola, so that's probably 16.
Yep.
Okay.
Looking now. Hold on, give me 1 sec. Yeah, they won in 2009, 2010 with Ancelotti. You were right.
Okay. And with Milan, I think that was earlier in his years.
Yeah, I believe so as well.
I believe that was what, maybe 2000s, like early 2000s?
Yeah, I think something like that.
I think it was 02, 03, or maybe 03, 04. I don't know. One of those two has got to be it. But either way, huge congratulations to him. I mean, a world class of a gentleman, of a coach, of a leader. He really took this Real Madrid team and turned it around. Now there's big names already up and coming for the transfer window already. Antonio Rudiger being already one of those. Reece James being rumored to be one of the other signings that they will get. Congratulations to Marcelo as well, the most condecorated player ever in Real Madrid history with 24 titles within the team.
That's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
That's absolutely insane. Any last minute? Oh, we got to do MLS Best Selection.
I was about to say, dude, come on, what are you doing?
My goodness, what am I forgetting here? So remind us of where we're sitting at that record. I think I'm what, 2-1?
1-1. I'm 0-2.
I'm 1-1. Okay.
Yeah, you
Well, what?
lost last week with the Galaxy.
Ah, damn. Okay.
Yeah. I'll keep mine short and sweet. The Revs over the Columbus Crew. Revs looked very good last week. I think they continue
They
that
did. They
positive
did it.
uptrend.
By the way, huge welcome to Damian Rivera to the team. The dude looked phenomenal.
Yeah.
Really great form, great striking form. Um, a great fit to that team. I'm actually extremely excited about him joining the team. I like your pick. That was gonna be my pick as well, but I'm gonna change it up a little bit here. If you just allow me a quick second.
No worries, no rush. No rush.
Also, just want to point that out for those of you that were speaking already about, oh, Revolution can't get it done this season. Please shut your yapper. Just shut it off already, because the only thing that the Revolution need to focus on is on a good enough record that will get them to the playoffs. They don't need to focus on first, second, third place. They're worried about the last year. They had the best record of the season. That didn't get them far. In order to win an MLS Cup title, you just have to worry about your record being good enough to make the playoffs and fight it off at the playoffs. You don't have to worry about the best record. So with that being said, now that I got fired up above that, with that being said, I think I'm actually gonna take.
Only me in suspense. Just fucking pick.
I know. I'm just trying to make really good pick here, but I'm gonna take New York City over Sporting KC. Sporting KC has slacked us of late a lot. They're not the same team that they were a couple years ago. This is a city field in New York. It is at home. If there is one team that plays really tough at home, it's New York. So I'm taking New York on this one.
NYCFC, the reigning champs.
Yes, sir.
Nothing wrong with that.
Other than that, any last minute highlights that you want to point out, Mr. Jones?
I mean, yeah, I think we should give a quick shout out to Fulham for winning the EFL championship this year.
I know, back to the Premier League.
They're back in the Premier League again. Right now, sitting there, you got Bournemouth in second, Nottingham Forest in third. They clash Tuesday. If Bournemouth wins, they move on. They go to the champion Premier League next year.
Okay.
If Nottingham wins, they're tied with Bournemouth. Obviously, a draw. Bournemouth needs either a winner or a draw, and they move on. Actually, no, that doesn't make sense. They need to win and they move on. If they draw, then they need to win their last matchup. But right now, for the last two spots, there are 5 teams technically. You got Bournemouth at 82, Nottingham Forest and Huddersfield at 79, Sheffield United and Luton Town at 72, and Middlesbrough at 70 still has a chance as well.
Wow.
As Millwall at 69. Now that I'm looking at it, it's a little close. But basically what the EFL does is they do the top 2 make it, and then they do 3 and 6 and 4 and 5, and the winners match up, and whoever wins is that 13 that moves up. So right now you're looking at Nottingham Forest versus Luton Town, Huddersfield versus Sheffield United. Which one of those 4 teams do you think could be that third spot that moves on? Really quick.
Honestly, I gotta bring it here. I'm thinking it's Nottingham Forest. They've had a phenomenal season, and also a big shout out to one of our team members in the network. That is Jen Hunt. She is a Nottingham Forest fan, and she's been following them all along the season. So this will be an exciting moment for Jen Hunt and those that are Nottingham Forest fans. So I'm going with them. I think they take the third place here.
I think so. If I had to do an order, I would say Nottingham Forest 1, Sheffield 2, Huddersfield 3, and then Middlesbrough, Luton Town 4. I'm trying to think the last time Nottingham Forest has been in the Premier League. It's been a while. They haven't been in the Premier League since it was known as Division 1 back in 2003, 2004. Actually, I lied. They haven't been in the Premier League since 98, 99.
I was gonna
That's
say
the
I
last,
thought it was far more recent. Yeah.
that's the last time. 98-99 was the last time that Nottingham Forest has made the Premier League, and I would love to see it happen yet again.
I would agree with that. And if you think about it, we were both probably 7, 8, 9, maybe at that time period.
No, it was 98-99, so I was 4.
I was 7.
Yeah, so
That's crazy. But anyways, with that being said, congratulations to all these teams. This is a hell of a season to be ending the way that is ending. Can't wait for episode 82, 83, 84, and 85. Those are going to be juicy episodes as everything comes down to an end here. But with that being said, thank you all so much for tuning in and week out to listen to both of us ramble here about the beautiful game. We will be getting into World Cup content very soon as the World Cup starts to get a lot closer than we think. With that being said, signing off, it's Diego Galvez, Chris Jones. Thank you all so much and have a wonderful week.